G'day everyone, welcome back on this beautiful Saturday morning here. I'm Steve from Steve's Place Down Under if you're new here. This is a bit different content to what we usually do. We're usually starting up old petrol and diesel tractors and prime movers and using them and working on them. But today I've got to clean this shed out. So this is part two. If you didn't see part one, go back. It's not exciting. It's not in sequence by any means. You don't have to see that for this one to make sense. I'm having a bucks party in here in a few weeks. I want to clear the shed out to put another lift of rotor mill in here. So they'll be clearing the shed out. They'll be getting the roller going. I got a vibe plate down there from work, which was going in the bin, I think, but it was just in the corner. So I'll explain that when we work on that. Towing the Transtar out. You can see here I've got to move it out. A bit of other stuff. So first of all, we're going to work on the new Holland. I've got some cylinders off that. As you saw last weekend, one actually let go and we're cleaning up down the back. But there were 5 on it all up leaking. I've left the 2 lift ones on there. They're still weeping, but not bad. So there's one on the 4-in-1 and 2 on the tilt that I've got resealed. I didn't do them myself because through the week I don't get home till 6:30, and I thought if the time I chase seals and do the job, it's sort of going to kick right into a Saturday, and time I resealed them there wouldn't be any time for any other job. So I had to go out to a mob we use, take some cylinders out there off a 825 compactor, some steering cylinders. So I threw them in the mix and the bloke did them for me. So I'm going to put them on now, and then there's a front wheel off it too. It's done a wheel seal. I'd done that months ago, but I just never got round to doing it, and it wasn't bad. It still held, the oil level dropped very slowly, but I thought while it's down I'll pull that wheel off and do that too. So I've got the seal for that, so we'll get this one going, which we will need. It's going to be needed here in the shed for the material, plus down the back where we're cleaning up. You've seen Dad sweeping some heaps up on that excavator and that little tractor in the last episode, or the last cleanup episode, depends on how I post this. To move those heaps to the fire, so it's good with the 4-in-1. You can just carry it and grab it and do what you want with it. So we'll get this one going. We'll get the vibe plate going. I've got down there I've got a Ranger, Polaris Ranger diesel machine, which I do a bit of volunteer work for. There's a place up here called Zambia. They do. It's a retreat where they got lions and tigers and meerkats and all these exotic animals, ex-performing animals. Rescue animals, things like that, it used to be Bullen's Animal World, Bullen's Circus. Some of those are old ex-performing animals, if any of you know that from around this area. But we've still got all the animals just up the road here, and I do a bit of volunteer work. So does my partner. She works with the animals, but I'm not a big animal lover. I mean, I appreciate them, but I'm more of the mechanical side. So I work on their lawnmowers, their tractors, anything they got, whippersnippers. They got a bobcat I do a bit too, and these Polaris Rangers. Now a lot of people just get on them and they're all kids doing placements or doing some sort of license or ticket or degree or something over there. They go there from a university and they get on these machines and just give it whatnot because they don't get the chance anywhere else to use something like that. Next minute it's broken, so they use them to feed the animals and whatnot. I don't charge them, I just volunteer, as I said. But this particular one, what I was told, it blew a heap of black smoke and stopped. So now I don't know if the air filter's restricted in some way. I don't know that's all I was told. So I don't know if it blocked off, it might have been restricted and sucked the pipe in. That's what it sounds like to me, but that's just what I was told too. Unless I see it, I don't really know. So I've got to do that today, which will be, I don't know if I'll film it because it's not part of what we're doing here. So I'll start off with the tractor because Dad gets home, he'll probably use that, and then I can go ahead and do the other stuff. And Mick's coming out later for a couple of beers. Nick's already here somewhere. We'll have a couple of bottles later and they'll give us a hand to clean this out. So come along with us. It's, you know, if these episodes don't do really well, it's more for blokes that are interested in my life and what goes on here. And so if you are new here and you're not into just this cleaning up and bits and pieces, there are plenty of other episodes on old Kenworths and Whites and Macs and old farm tractors and old Ford V8s and all sorts of stuff. So if you want to go back through it and have a look at those, and give me a follow, give me a like. I'm trying to grow this channel. My goal is, and dreams are free, which it may never happen because it's only going slowly. My dad's going to retire in 2 years, so he reckons, which it's hard to believe because he doesn't stop, but apparently he is, and I'd like to grow the channel to a point where I can have some time off work, and because at the moment I can't, not any extended time anyway, I just can't afford it. But if I can get the channel to a point where I might be able to get sponsored or something and get a bit in return for what I give, and might be able to have some time with my dad too. We want to get the Transtar on the road. I've got an 8-wheeler Kenworth in there with a big cam 400 Cummins in it. I'd like to get on the road. I've got endless amounts of prime movers down there I'd like to get on the road. I've got a couple of old Alice Chalmers days. I've got a HD7 I want to get going. Again, thank you Adrian for that wonderful book. That will come in handy with that. There's an 8-wheeler Acco down there. For those of you who don't know, I've done stories on Accos before. I'm in the process of doing a history of Accos. I don't know everything about them. I just want to touch up on my knowledge before I post that. We ran Accos in our family years ago, and I want to make a replica of one my uncle had. It was a twin steer bogey drive, but it had a V8 Cummins in it. But the one I've got's got a 5-cylinder Nissan diesel 2-stroke in it, which is fantastic. But I'll pull that out, put it on a stand, because one, I don't want to run it because they're hard to get parts for, and two, I want the V8 Cummins in it with the 5x3. So that will be another restoration project, but it's just hard when you work 65, 68 hours a week and you've only got 1 day a week to do this. It's hard to start a restoration. That's why the Transtar's been sitting here so long. I've got the motor going, but it's as far as I've gotten with it. The other 3 trucks, or the other 2 I've restored before kids, before women, before, you know, basically I had afternoons, I had weekends, and all weekends, and I had time, I had money, but that's why we're not doing any bigger jobs. So these episodes that don't do well still create activity and just show you blokes that are interested in my life, what's going on here. So we'll start with the New Holland, put the cylinders on, and then we'll move on to something else. So we're going to put this cylinder on. This is a tilt cylinder. This one's got the bucket leveler on. It's just got a gauge where you look out the window. Once both of those are lined up, the bottom of the bucket's level. For those of you who don't know that, it was actually coming out of, I've never seen this before, it's coming out of a, if you can see, there's a hole here, a telltale hole, or whatever they want to call it, but it was actually leaking out of there. I've never seen a cylinder like this. Certainly not on any earth moving equipment, the cat stuff we work on, but I thought it may have just been a piece of pipe, like an extension to get this, just to get the length of the cylinder where it needed to be. But the rod actually goes through this piece here too, so the seal's in this side. You're probably all thinking, oh no shit, but I've never seen one. There's a first for everything. So I was wondering why it was leaking out of there, thought it may have been cracked, but it wasn't until I looked in there. It's obviously blown the breather out, or there should be something in there, but it wasn't until I looked in there I could see the chrome rod, so it goes through both ends. It must be to stabilise it or something, because it wouldn't give it any more length. It must be just to stop it kicking in the barrel. But I know on a D9, a D10 cat, that there is just an extension to get the cylinder down to where it needs to be. But on this case, it's actually, that is the case as well, but the rod's in there as well, so that's where it was leaking. This end was weeping, but it was actually leaking in there, because as that breather's fallen out, or whatever was in there was something, because I can see witness marks, but all the shit's gotten in there and just eaten the seal away. There's got no way of getting out, where here it can fall out. So I'll put that on, 2 of those, and then there's one for the 4-in-1, as I said. One on the other side I just pulled it apart myself, measured it, and got some seals out of Caterpillar. Have got a thing called, or a book or a program called One Safe Source, and it's got lists all their stuff in there, hardware, cutting edges, seals, lubricants, all that sort of thing. So I just measured them and got the right kit. And I thought, time I do that with all these, pull them apart, do that, assemble it, and it's a lot quicker to pay someone else to put them together. And the relationship I got out there with these blokes, it's Don Clark Tractors, for those of you in Sydney that may have heard of them. we've got a good relationship with them where we work, so good blokes out there, really good blokes. Hopefully they're watching and they might sponsor. What do you think? So they've sealed this for me. He recommended putting a breather in there, which I wasn't aware. It wasn't until I looked at the witness mark and realised there was one there. So we'll put this on, put that on, do the wheel seal, which isn't a big job, it's already off, and we'll fill the oil up and move on. I want to give a bloke a shout out who asked me a fair while ago actually, but I sort of forget. I have to set a reminder on the phone. But he talks to me on private messenger about different things, and his name's Rand Moore. His channel is Rand Moore or Toy to Cat 2. You go over and check him out. It's not a channel like this, it's just a variety of different things, but I'm all about helping people. So for those of you who are like me, that like helping others, head over and give him a like, give him a subscribe. But I did notice he hasn't posted for a little bit, so mate, if you can whack some more stuff on there, that'd be great, because I'm subscribed too. So I'm always about helping and watching, and the more you put up, the bigger it's going to get, obviously. So go over and have a look at him. And we're finally getting the new range of, I'll get my partner to put the thing up on the screen here of what we got. We've got different ranges of hats. We've still got the old ones, but they're all different styles. So I've got some bucket hats coming in, which I like wearing here in the sun. When I say bucket, they're brimmed hats, not just the ones that make you look like a lampshade. Got those. Got some more hoodies coming. People like those. We've got some shirts coming, and we've changed colours on a few things. Whether it's the shirts, I know there's some blue hats coming. It's called petrol blue. It's a really good colour. It looks great. So there's trucker caps like that, not with the white front, but just the whole. Just got the mesh in the back, and got some old school shirts. I don't even know what they're called, but in the 70s they wore shirts with the coloured band around. Got some of them coming, which look really old school, which look fantastic working on some of this stuff. But they're white and black, so probably get filthy with me. And then there's different styles of hats, and we got some singlets for those. A couple of blokes requested singlets, especially a few in our truck club that wear singlets all the time. And I'm not a big singlet bloke unless I'm walking around Thailand or Fiji. Probably should be though. I'm as wide as this UD. And anyway, they will be available too, so we'll do a thing up and put on the screen for those of you interested. Again, I'm not making anything out of that, but it's like one, I like helping people. Two, I mean, it'll still cost, but there'll be no profit. I just want to get people to see you wearing it, and just a bit of advertisement. People might see it and come over and have a look. So thanks again for that. Let's get to putting this on. I know I talk a lot, but that's how I like to do it. This pin here, well, this one here actually come out once, and just come out, the keeper fell off, and it come out enough so it was just in one side. So and I didn't see it. I was using it at the time, and it twisted all this frame. So not sure if you can see, but that doesn't quite line up. I mean, it will. It went in there, but I've straightened it as much as I can. But it's got a bit of a memory, so I mean, that will go in. It has been in there. Put some grease on that. The pin I put in here hasn't got a grease nipple, so I might even take that out, put some grease on and put it back in. The rest are greasable because I didn't have a pin. That's just a 3-point linkage pin or a drawbar pin I found. Clip's a bit of an overkill, but it works. That was years ago, so makes it easy to take out and put grease on it as well. So here we go. I'll get some grease for that. Sit her in there. So hard to get it out because it's all twisted. Grease in the bush, but not in the actual an actual housing here. Put some in there. So we use this when we buy new earth movers at work. It comes with a little bag with a few bits and pieces in it, but it comes with these tubes of grease. Well, one, it's not stuff we use, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't fit our grease gun, so they just throw them in the bin. Like each machine only comes with two, so there's not a lot come through there. And we don't use grease just out of something. Like we use different sort of like Neverseas or rubber grease or something. It's not often you need grease out of a tube like this, so they just hoy them, but it's not worth you digging it out and putting it in another tube so you can use it. So I've kept a couple, but I brought one home just for stuff like this. So I use it more here for Neverseas or something like that. Of course they don't fit the guns, there's no point in keeping them there. I have come across a gun for it, but again there's not enough of them to load the thing up, so. I feel too bad actually. That back in. Sort of a lot tighter than I'd like it to be. She must have all twisted that bad that time. Anyway, there's not a lot of movement there, but I still don't like it. Excuse my back. Okay, we're back on track. Just put a small bit of grease in this cylinder, then I'll go through with the gun and grease it properly. On this we're using to push up the fires and just goes everywhere. It needs a wash, that's for sure. It needs a wash to get all this oil off it. This tractor isn't ours. I don't know if I've told you that before. I probably have. People across the road, farm across the road there, bought it many years ago, but that property's since leased now and they don't never use it. In 2001 we had bad bushfires come through here and burnt down all the sheds, so we've left, they leave it here, but the amount of work I've done with it is unbelievable and much appreciative, so hopefully one day we'll end up with it. I've only got old tractors myself. I certainly can't afford a nice machine like this. These are pretty heavy. I've got it most of it myself, sort of one-handed, because you've got to push the pin in. I'll stand that up for you. twist out of this one. Just a bit out. Close as shit is to swearing anyhow, so we'll have a look at that if the bolt does go through. Okay, give that a nip so pop these blue plugs out, because one, there's going to be vacuum, and two, there's going to be pressure on one on either side. Obviously the vacuum one won't let me pull it down if these plugs are in there. Just a protective cap. I'll set you up over here so my back's into you. Okay, pick that one out with the seal pick. I know it's not a seal pick like I said, but you can't see it anyway. Screwdriver. Seal pick's here somewhere. I'll slide that down, put some grease in that hole. Slide that down before I connect the hoses. I thought that was lined up, but that's just the wrong pin. There. I've had a few of you comment on, you've probably seen, I don't know if all of you will watch, but I've put some shorts up on, so I work for a quarrying company and I've been there 23 years. I do all the rebuilds in the shed, from transmissions to engines to whatever's got to be done, hitches, cabs. There's me and another bloke that do them for this. We've got about 100 earth movers at this mob we work for, pretty big concern. But people say, why don't you base your channel on that? And there's a few reasons. But one is, it's their concern, it's their company, and I'm certainly not going to take credit for any of that even. And I don't want to film in there. Like, I don't want to. I'll sneak a short in here and there when I can, but I don't want to base my channel off something that I'm not interested. Like, I'm not remotely interested in, personally anyway, as a job I'll show some interest, but I'm not interested in late model earth movers, nor prime movers or trucks. It's not there for me. I'll give it my best when I'm there. Certainly if I get told to go and drive a truck or a float or something, I will, and I do enjoy it, but it's certainly not something I want to do. I like these old 70s, 60s, even 80s trucks, and I don't work them. These ones I've got here are just toys, so I'd rather mechanic than drive or operate. I'm not going to base my channel off something that I'm not interested in. I appreciate new equipment and I know it's needed, but it's certainly not an interest of mine to video D9s and Hitachi dump trucks and stuff like that. I'd much rather this older equipment. If that's what I could do for a job, play with this old stuff, I'll do. I mean, this isn't old, but generally the channel is. That's what I'd rather do. So pins are in. I'm going to put the hoses on, then I'll line this guide up. So this guide is, as I said, for the bottom of the bucket level. You can see it out the windscreen. I've marked it, but when we get it going we might just put it on level ground and just make sure it is right. I pinched an O-ring kit from work. I've got O-rings here, but I wasn't sure if they were the right size. Probably would have worked. These are just JIC fittings onto the hose anyway. Got a lock nut there. One both face the same way. Yep. I'll do both of them, both the same size, same O-ring. Put them on. Those of you who don't know, you see just a lock nut. I know a lot of you know, and we don't appreciate being told again, but I'm just showing some of you. There's an O-ring there that it's got a bevel in the where the thread is, and it just squashes that down. But some blokes I've seen, I've pulled them apart at work, and you've got to reset this nut. Some blokes have put it in like that, then the O-ring's on the thread, and that's not the case. They'll leak from day one or won't last long at all. You've got to reset that nut, and so the O-ring's running on that shank there, not the thread. I know a lot of you know that, but some may not. Just a little mechanical thing that all these things you learn. Got the O-rings on those. Both facing up, and then we get a 7/8. I think it was from last time. Hold that fitting still. You may need another spinner sometimes, depends on if it grabs or not. Most of the time they'll just lock in place. Let's give that a slight nip. That's it. The hose is on. Okay, that one's on. Now we just got to put the guide on. You see I've marked with a white pen here. Again, when we start this up, we'll just check that that's all good. She's still level and wants to play. Okay, so there you go, that's one cylinder. Here come the children. I won't film the rest because you get the idea. The other one's exactly the same without this. 4-in-1, the same, just shorter. So we'll move on to, I think, the Ranger. If I video that, I'll work it out in the meantime. And I said it was all for this tractor, I completely forgot about the wheel, so I may as well show you all that. I've just got to clean it all up, which is never fun, but speed this process up. I've got a gurney, but it's set up down the bottom, so I'll probably just clean it enough to get it going and take it down there. Hot water one would be nice, but far too expensive for me. But cold water's enough for what we do here if you've got degreaser and stuff like that. Clean. The wheels are dirty apart. Just scrape most of that off, then shovel it up. See how long she's been leaking. One of those things you sort of just, it's got oil in it, you keep using until it really is a problem. But no, now's the time to do it. Again, I'll get it going and then drive it down to the gurney. I won't film that. Okay, so I've brake cleaned just a solvent that dries everything out. Clean the surface of this. I've got some retaining compound on it, so I'm going to fit that now. Probably not how you would fit a seal, the way I'm going to hit it in, but you can't have a tool for every seal. It's impossible. There are kits out there with several different types of plates and bits and pieces, but one, that's money, and two, some of them don't go this big, so I'll just gently try and tap it in. It's a $120 seal, this, which isn't, I mean, it's cheap for what it does, but it's a lot of money for just one little thing that, and there's a lot of other stuff wrong. Might just get a center puncher, a pin punch, and just try and hit it in a little bit further. Got to be careful doing this that you don't ding and distort the thing, so just lightly. If it's not moving, don't force it. It has got an edge to go up against, which is good to take it to that, then it means it's all running true. Okay, and we'll put a bit of oil or light grease or something on that, probably the oil we're going to use, and then we'll put her on. It's not a duo cone or anything, for those of you who've seen those floating seals. It's just basically a lip seal. Careful with these fine threads. You don't want to cross that over, it wouldn't be good. To give the long extension, it was on top of the kit. Put a bit of weight on that, then I'll get the tyre off the ground with the jack. We can adjust that bearing. Till this is tight, bottom both those bearings out, you can feel them drag. You know it's all home, then just a tad of movement is good, not that much. that's good. Get something to bend. There's a little tab you bend into a slot there. It's just basically a lock tab, stops a nut undoing, especially this side being right hand threaded. That'll undo it if it does grab. Very unlikely though, because that planetary, as you can see, it's not spinning with the wheel. That ring gear there is locked to the actual axle itself. So next we'll put the planetary in. These don't run an O-ring, I think they just run glue. I'll clean them up and put some grey on it and get that in there as well. Talking to myself here, I didn't have the camera on. I've just cleaned that. It has got an O-ring, this one, which is good. Put a small amount of grey around it because I haven't got that O-ring. It's got a bit of a square edge on it, so I'll just put a smear of this stuff around it. I found this grey stuff's the best with a lot of this. I've tried red stuff, I've tried blue stuff, but as soon as oil goes near it, it just seems to peel off and doesn't stick to it like this stuff does. Depends on where you're using it, temperature rating and everything, but simple flanges like this, it's great stuff. Okay, all we're going to do is line those two dowels up, which are these bigger holes here. Generally a planetary, I'll sit those two gears in first, because that will centre it all. If you just put one at the bottom, it's going to roll around, and put two, it's going to position it. Put two at the bottom. Find your shaft in the centre, and we just got to line those dowels up. The grey's not going to work real good with that oil's running out. Still got a bead there, so. Dad's just turned up. I'm going to turn it off now because he'll start talking. I'm going to use a ratchet. I like the fill bolts like this. That thing there, you know what's going on with it. This is a good sounding thing, isn't it? So these tractors use it's like a transmission hydraulic blend. It's the hydraulics come out of the transmission housing. Been going through a lot of it. A couple of drums off a mate of mine, but I'm not going to keep asking for that. It's going to take a lot more than that, but I did fill it last week too, so. And then once we run those cylinders, it'll go down again once we fill those. It's about just under level there now. I'll overfill it. Just a bit. I'll run those cylinders and top it back up. I've been told that you've got to be careful running cylinders like that with no oil in, because it can superheat the air like when you go to run them like a old diesel engine. But I've never seen it happen, but it's never been a problem to any that I've done, or any I've done with other people, but I do believe it is a problem. That's gone off the stick again. So that's right on the money there now, and it's still running in, so I'll just give her a bit more. Because of the still might be air pockets in those cylinders. check it after working it, so I reckon that's spot on. Definitely enough in there to use it, run it, probably too much, but so it'll keep going down a little bit. Right, that's a new Holland. Now we're going to move it and then continue with some of these other jobs.